If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me and subscribe to me on all my other social media platforms. What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back for part 2 of this week's Under the Radar, as I'm trying to fix my camera. There we go. So yeah, this is part 2 of the albums I didn't get to talk about from the weekend of August 25th. I've done part 1 back on Tuesday. If you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. But let's get started with part 2, where we got 4 more albums to go. And we're going to kick things off with Knife with Heaven into Dust. This is a German blackened speed / thrash metal band. And of course this is a name I have seen come up here and there in the underground thrash and speed metal world. And I got curious to check this one out because of, you know, blackened speed, blackened thrash, which has become one of my favorite fusions for thrash metal and speed metal out there. And right out of the gate, you get a lot of, like, punky energy on here with the D-beat stomps, but you still got a lot of that thrash energy going on here. But there's even a sleazy quality to it that gives it that more kind of, like, Midnight or even Hellripper vibe, where it gets into that more sleazy territory. The vocals, very raspy, even though at times the vocals kind of turned me away from the album, just a tiny bit on a couple of parts. But for the most part, the vocals were still pretty solid. The guitar tone, I love how it sounds like classic 80s speed, thrash, black metal. The drum tones are really thumping throughout. So overall, like, musically, it's very energetic, it's catchy, it's sleazy, and it's fun. So if you're a fan of Hellripper, Wraith, Midnight, and even Toxic Holocaust, there's going to be some stuff you'll like about this. I give it 8.5 out of 10. I thought this was some really good stuff. And I should probably check out the rest of Knife's catalog if I can remember. But now we're moving on to album number 2 on the list, and that is... oh boy, and I've been practicing trying to pronounce this band's name, but now I forgot, so let me try. Asphodelus. We nailed it first try, so Asphodelus with Sculpting from Time. This is a Finnish death doom band, and of course, Finnish death doom is one of my favorite underground scenes. You know, Swallow the Sun, Hooded Menace, Unholy, bands like that. However, this is far more closer to like a band like Catatonia, like gothic atmosphere and melodies, somber dissonance throughout, and the production itself kind of reminds me of like Dance of December Souls by Catatonia, and even in the songwriting, it just feels like part 2 of Dance of December Souls. Like, it's so depressing, so gothic, but still death doom. And yeah, just the anguish that's going on with this album in terms of the lyrics, the songwriting, the melodies. It's just despair, pain, depression, and anguish. Basically everything you could want out of like a dark, gloomy death doom band. So if you are a fan of early, like really early Catatonia, I would say My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, and even October Tide, this is going to be one you'll have to check out. I also give this 8.5 out of 10. Thought this was some pretty solid stuff right here. Then again, don't be shocked if you shed a tear as you listen to it. But now moving on to album number 3, and that is Celestial Sanctuary with Insatiable Thirst for Torment. So this is a British death metal band, and, well, musically, it kind of straddles the line between British death metal, Florida death metal, and even a little bit of like that cavernous death metal. Because you get moments on here where the tremolo riffs feel very apocalyptic, like a cavernous death metal band. But you do get some like cool double time stomps that make you think of a band like Bolt Thrower or even Benediction to some extent. You get some cool doom breaks here and there. little hints of atonal riffing on here, blast beats, some thrashy energy that kind of gives off a little bit of that like Florida death metal vibe, or even a band like Blood Red Throne whenever it gets into like that more thrashy, chuggy stuff. Now, the one problem that I really had with this album, while the guitar tone is pretty freaking cool, the drum tones I thought sounded a little bit too processed. Like, the drums almost had like a deathcore kind of sound to it when it came to the production. But that doesn't take away really much of anything for me. Still, this album, if you are a fan of Bolt Thrower, Blood Red Throne, I would say Tomb Mold, and Benediction, there's some stuff you will enjoy about this. I enjoyed it despite the drum sound, but I also give it 8.5 out of 10. So we've been on a pretty consistent range with the rankings, but still, really good stuff. I look forward to more. But that leaves us with only one album left, and that is Bottomless with The Banishing. So this is an Italian classic heavy metal / doom metal band, and when I say classic heavy metal and doom, it truly sounds like both. Like from late 70s, early 80s, like the guitar tone kind of feels a lot like Black Sabbath, almost like a hybrid of the guitar tones from Master of Reality and even Dehumanizer. Like the guitar tones of both albums kind of mashed together, and that's the guitar tone you get on this album. And even in the production, kind of sits in between, because you got like that crunchy sound from Dehumanizer, especially with the drums, but you get that like organic style from Master of Reality when it comes down to the production. Now, the riff work on this album goes from classic heavy metal to straight up doom marches, which is really cool. And even the vocals kind of remind me of a mixture of Ian Gillan from Deep Purple and Jason Tarpey from Eternal Champion. Like, there were moments where I thought of a band like Eternal Champion here and there on this album, particularly the first album, The Armor of Ire. I kind of got some vibes from that album here and there on this album. But of course, the classic doom bands like Pentagram and Saint Vitus, but a lot of Black Sabbath on here. So basically, this was almost flawless for me. If you are a fan of the bands I mentioned, Black Sabbath especially, but also Saint Vitus, Pentagram, and even Eternal Champion, you will dig this. I certainly dug it. This is a 9 out of 10. I don't really have much to complain about. And yeah, this was some fun doom / classic heavy metal. But of course, this is all just my opinion. What did you guys think of the albums I talked about? And of course, albums will be in the description box below for you guys to check out. But until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.